All right, now let's talk to Katarzyna Szemeliewicz, a Polish human rights activist and member of a foundation to protect people's privacy against modern technology and surveillance. Thanks for joining us on RT today. We are already seeing two-faced extradition to the United States for illegal file swapping under current laws. What difference might the ACTA deal make to such arrests, do you think?
The idea behind ACTA is certainly to increase the possibilities for enforcement internationally. The main idea behind that proposal is to create stronger bonds among countries that never cooperated closely on IPR enforcement. So in my opinion, this trend would definitely get worse if ACTA gets adopted by all negotiating parties.
Well, now, the critics are saying that ACTA is worse than America's notorious anti-piracy bills. What is the problem in your view?
Well, I do believe it's exactly the same tendency we see in both in internal anti-piracy laws that were attempted in the US and in ACTA. And the main problem is that we see complete ignorance for the real problem of piracy online. The politicians avoid talking about reforming intellectual property law. They avoid the very concept that something might be wrong with the law as it stands now, but they choose to strengthen the enforcement measures, which means that we basically create more pressure where there is already a lot of pressure. And this is why we see this protest, this urge in people to express their opposition to this political trend.
Now, we mentioned that the major backlash in the United States, which saw lawmakers shelve their plans. If the multinational ACTA trade deal is worse, then why is only Poland getting angry? Where's the mass protest, do you think?
I do think that in other countries we have seen a lot of anger. Maybe it wasn't in the streets, but it was definitely to be seen online, as in the US and in the protests of important websites. In Poland, it got so much worse in a sense, or so much better, if you like, because there was no public debate at all on ACTA. And people, when they identified the threat, it was extremely late. So they all felt excluded from the debate. They all felt excluded from the conversation how to deal with privacy and with piracy and the whole problem we see online. So therefore, they felt the need to urgently say something to their representatives.
Now, fake goods, stolen movies and music, I understand these cost billions in lost revenue here. And I know that these firms aren't particularly poor, but that shouldn't really condone theft. How would you go about stopping it?
I would start with reforming the law. I do think that if we see finally a complex, deep reform of intellectual property law in the whole of the European Union and beyond, we might see that the problem of piracy, the problem of copying goods illegally, comes to the end, because this is the reaction to a very unclear legal landscape and a very unfair situation that exists both in the law and in certain commercial deals online. If we tackle the problem comprehensively, we might be able to solve it without strong punishments, without going for enforcement as the only response.
Now, when it comes to an issue like this, the ACTA movement here, the ACTA documents, do you think the average internet user is actually going to understand the implications here? I mean, it does seem to have some fairly murky details. A lot of people might just not understand it, and I suppose they could be subject to problems here.
That's definitely a problem. We see all kinds of myths around ACTA going on in Polish media and Polish internet. I think it's a general problem of contemporary politics, that many issues are too complex for ordinary people, ordinary users to grasp. So they have to rely on experts. We as sort of social experts try to provide this expertise, these answers, so people know what's going on. But that's very rare that you have social experts working for free to help you understand. Normally you have to rely on the politicians who are not very much prepared in Poland to explain this either. So that's a real big problem of democracy, and we really have a challenge of education.
All right, a human rights activist, Katarzyna Szemeliewicz, thank you for joining us on RT today.
Thank you.